Then came a saviour, a scally messiah named Peter Reid, and a year later SAFC were promoted into the Premier League. After years in the wilderness, Sunderland were back where they wanted to be, up there with the biggest names in English football. At last, their time had come. This was to be a new beginning.
I want to finish as high up as I can in the Premier Division, which I think is everyone's goal. I know it's a hard league, and over the last few weeks we've learnt how hard it is, because we played well in games and they got nothing out of it. And if you don't stick the ball in the net when you're on top at this level, you get beaten games, and it's a lesson you got to learn quick, or your history.
I can't support another team. If we sell a player, he's gone. I still love Sunderland. You know, it's not a one-person team or whatever. You know, I love the club as a whole.
My mother supported them. She'd been going since she was my age, and she went by herself. And as I got to the age, you know, about 10, 11, she says, "Oh, do you want to go?" And she was trying to force us to go, and I was like, no, I'll put it off for months. And eventually she got me a ticket, and I can honestly not remember what my first match was. But I was just hooked from the moment I went, and I really enjoyed it.
To me, you're born to support. You didn't change halfway through your life, and that you support where you're born and stick with it through good and bad, didn't you?
It's almost too painful to remember how optimistic everyone was in the middle of the last season. The club was sitting comfortably mid-table, although their home record hadn't been good. Wimbledon, however, were on a roll. 18 games without being beaten.
I fancy us getting a penalty today off Big Vinny. He'll probably bring one of us down. We'll get a penalty. So it's got to be spot on.
What do you reckon to the match today then? What predictions have you got?
I think we'll win. It'll be pretty close, I would think, but I think one or two of our forwards might be a bit too quick for them. And they'll get through and get a goal.
You haven't won at home for a while, like, have you?
We haven't, no, but things will come right, mate. Great faith in the club and the manager and the players.
I ain't got a problem about us winning the battle. Honestly, I think we'll win the battle. Any time you get it down and play short, sharp football, you kill them. You kill them. So everything's short and sharp, quick passing, which is different class at, and they won't be able to live with you. And if you're in trouble in the squeezing, stay on side, diags down the sides. Oh. All right, come on, let's go. You still win them tackles, though. Bowley, race. Come on, son. Bit of magic, come on.
At 41, Peter Reid has done it all. He's played in FA Cup finals, the World Cup, and before Sunderland, he was manager at Manchester City.
3 points today, and we're up.
But even he couldn't have predicted how tough this season was going to be.
Come on! It's all right! Come on, Eddie! Stop, come on, boys, eh? Smithy boy! Come on, hey! Come on! That's fucking shite. And it's not about fucking tactics and them being great players. It's about fucking arsehole, which they've got fucking more on the fucking day. So fucking get on with it. I tell you what that is, fucking men against fucking boys all over the fucking park. You're fucking weak as piss, they are. Fucking weak as piss. Early! Go on now! Go on now! Hey! Mickey! Push him on! Fucking hell!
They lost 3-1.
It's not the best performance against you this season.
The first 45 minutes was men against boys. So I think that might be a yes. Thank you.
Little did Sunderland know that Wimbledon was a team who would come back to haunt them.
It's been fantastic though. I mean, to go to a place like Old Trafford, Anfield, Highbury, with everything that goes as with playing in the Premier League, that has been absolutely unbelievable. And someone says, oh, we're playing Man United Saturday. It's got the Man United aurora around it, isn't it, on Man U type thing, and there is that added excitement of playing, you know, against them sort of teams.
Just to make you... I'm knackered here. Keep it going, just keep going the effort. Can't get the effort up again though.
I think you give you a win to.
All clubs complain about injuries, but both Sunderland's new Premier League signings were out of action before they'd really got started.
What's it feel like when you wake there?
Not too bad. I mean,
Goalkeeper Tony Courton was bought pre-season from Man United, but after only a handful of games in a match against Southampton he broke his leg. It snapped in 5 places.
Stay in the brace.
for how long?
Until I see you again in a month's time.
You said a month to 6 weeks.
Yeah, but...
I've took you religiously at your word.
Yes.
There.
Brace on.
Nothing malicious in the challenge. He'd got to go for the ball, I'd got to come out. But I didn't, you know, realise to the extent of I'd got so many fractures. You know, I thought I just broke my leg because of the, you know, the main sort of pain was coming from my tibia, high up, you know, just below my knee. Weren't until they went to pick me up to put me on the stretcher that the whole bottom part of my leg, you know, just screamed out in agony, and my fibula had gone and my tibia was broken in 4.
New striker Niall Quinn was also injured. Although he was past his best, the ex-Irish international was the club's most expensive ever signing.
I got signed for £1.3 million. I walked into the dressing room on the first day. I only knew 1 or 2 of the players, David Kelly, Tony Coton. And I could see the players probably looking at me thinking, well, we've heard he's half decent, you know, is he going to do it for us? And even though I had a pretty decent start, by no means I didn't set the world on fire, but I felt it was just beginning to come, but then suddenly it was gone. I was injured and had a very bad injury and looked to be out for the rest of the season. So that was a hard thing. I then had to mentally get myself attuned to that the players here still don't know what I'm capable of. And that's the spur that's been keeping me going all along. I mean, you have bad days and there are times when I don't think like this and you think, oh my God, am I ever going to get back? But there's a little bit left that I still have to prove, and that's probably more important to me. I mean, I could easily say, oh, I want to do it for my family, I want to do it for my kids. They're all lovely cliches, but they're not.
Nice and gentle now. Good girl.
There are 2 sets that I want to get the respect from. One is the dressing room and one is myself. If I get one, I get the other.
One thing's going for Niall is that he looks like he'll play this season. You know, I've got no chance.
Sunderland used to be famous for its shipyards. They've all gone now. But in return, the town was granted city status. A city without a cathedral. But not for long. This was millionaire chairman Bob Murray's dream. A 42,000-seater stadium, twice the size of Roker Park. Built on the site of an old coal mine, it's a towering monument to a local lad made good. Every day, devout fans made their pilgrimage to watch it rise. It seems insane, but even on Christmas Day they came to pay the respects and dream of future glories.
I think it's the biggest statement the club's done in 100 years, and I think that it says everything about the potential of the club that must be realised in the future. And over the next decade, there'll be success at this club that hasn't been seen for over 40 years. This club has never finished in the top half of the Premier League or its equivalent for 42 years, and that's a long time. This club needs to compete at the highest level, and it needs to compete permanently.
Here was a team who hadn't been in the Premiership more than 5 minutes, building the second biggest ground in the whole league. The risk of humiliation for Bob Murray was enormous. No one outside the club really believed he could fill it. But Bob had undying faith in Sunderland's followers, even if they hadn't always had faith in him.
He said Peter Reid's rekindled his enthusiasm for the club. What he means is he stopped them from being relegated, he took them up, and the financial reward that's coming into the club, you can actually see them making some money now. And obviously with the new stadium and being in the Premiership, Sky, the money Sky's going to pay, the pay-as-you-view, possibly that's going to come on next year. You know, he's just looking at the bottom line at the end of the day. Bob Murray's not interested in Sunderland Football Club. I'll tell you that now.
I mean, 8 million's not a lot of money to put aside for players, and yet he's putting all this money forward for his new stadium. And I think he should concentrate on the team first, rather than the stadium, and rather than floating Sunderland on the stock exchange.
We've achieved Premier League status, which is the only place to be, of course, in the Premier League. We're in the process of moving stadium, which is a once in 100 years situation. And to ensure that all that goes smoothly and we can take advantage of those opportunities, a listing on the stock exchange ensures that we have the financial strength and ability to achieve our aspirations.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks very much for coming. The reason for our press conference today is to discuss the flotation on the full market. Sunderland will be the 4th fully listed football club, and it's rubbing shoulders with Manchester United, Spurs and Leeds United. The float will inject an 8-figure capital sum into the business, and it'll greatly widen the share ownership.
We will use the proceeds as follows. 3 million will replace some bank facilities, 2.5 million to finance the stadium fit out, and we will also invest in player acquisition to secure our Premiership status, and more importantly, to be able to compete with the best.
Quick to seize a photo opportunity, Bob and John took the press to the new stadium to announce the club's share price, £5.85.
Hello. Good here.
I'm a football person, I always will be. I lead the business side of it to my directors and the financial directors that we've got in. I mean, I'm purely football. Every game I've been involved in football since I was a young lad, I've wanted to win. And I've got a burning desire to win. Sometimes you can't, you don't win. But no added pressure will be coming from flotations or financial, not at all. I just look at it purely 3 points for getting us up that Premier League.
Sunderland Football Club floated on the stock market on Christmas Eve. It was a huge success. The share price quickly rose to a staggering £7.50, and Bob's 52% share in the club was now worth more than £25 million. Peter Reid's shares were worth around £3 million. A Merry Christmas to you all.
Who would have thought that Sunderland would have been on a full listed market, but such is our business. Our turnover's gone from 7 million to 13 million this year, and next year it'll be well into the mid-20s. And that is a tremendous growth for any business, and we're a 115-year-old, our business, yet we've got tomorrow's product. And with Sky and pay-per-view and all these things in the Premier League, it's a tremendous opportunity we have to make a big success, both on and off the field, and people want to invest in it.
Did you buy any shares?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Aye. I would have to buy shares in the club. I mean, I couldn't let that go. So did my daughter, actually. She bought shares in it. So I hope my advice was good. Oh, yes, I bought shares. I'm not telling you how much, but I bought shares.
By early January, despite their injuries, Sunderland was still holding on to a mid-table position, and everyone reckoned those icy winds from the North Sea would give the team an advantage over those soft southerners, Arsenal.
It was forecasted ground level 7 below freezing. So we had to take precautions, you know. Make sure everything was covered up perfect. You mustn't take your eyes off for a second. I'm going to go back across the day now, mind. That's it. I'll go round it and back again. That finishes the day off.
Let's face it, Arsenal are everything Sunderland aspires to be. The rich, never been relegated, and every other player's an international. They also beat Sunderland 2-0 at Highbury, when the referee sent 2 players off and Peter Reid got a hefty fine for arguing from the dugout.
So when do you hope to move to the new stadium?
At least Bob's new stadium would be bigger than theirs.
Oh, right, so
We've
it'll be
got
ready
4
for...
weeks to fit it out.
Yeah. What'll be the total capacity?
42, straight on.
And how many season ticket holders will you have?
Well, we've got a commitment of just over 10,000 as it yesterday. It went over 10,000.
You stand guard, do you? Make sure nobody goes in who shouldn't go in.
Try to see it, only the right people get in and have to get in, you know. Yes.
Oh, hello.
Hello, how are you?
How are you going? All right?
Yes. Okay. Right. I'll see you after.
Okay.
Yes. I've been here about 10 years, but I was downstairs before I came upstairs.
You always been a Sunderland fan?
Huh?
You always been a Sunderland supporter?
Yeah, about 50 years, I think. My dad brought me the game in 1946.
How much you want to be, please? It's been a tough one.
Up to now, yes. I don't see it. I've just got to watch it goes, you know. That's the main thing.
Not many people do get to see much of the match around here, do they?
Well, the thing is, you've got a job to do, and that's it. You know, it's the hub of the club, this. I've got my mate here at the company.
Well, I'll tell you now, personally, I don't like this short-passing game. I like the old-fashioned game better than... there's no individual skill in this game, right? You just pass the ball before anybody. Well, before you had the winger beating 2 or 3 men and crossing and a big centre forward.
Now listen, I'm not daft, men, and the boat you use ain't giving us enough.
You ain't giving us up. And I don't know whether you think I'm fucking stupid, but I'll tell you what, you're not trying to give it to us. You're not getting it, you're not holding it up. You're jumping like that. Hey, back into them. I see Bearcamp on his toes. I see when Mason's up there on his toes, you know what I see us? And when the ball's into feet, you know what I see? Stretching. Instead of your body there, and get your body there and make them kick you. Because he ain't seen it. I'll tell you what's been poor. It has been poor. And don't look at me as though I'm fucking daft. It has been poor. The most important thing on that pitch is that football. You get that football and you hold it for us because we can't get out. And that's a problem we've got. The only problem well, not the only one, but I'll tell you what, we're working hard all over. We've got to stick up there to get us out. If we pass it, we'll beat anyone. So I need that belief out there. Because I'm fucking telling you, there's internationals and everything, you're as good as them. You're as fucking good as them. You show in holes, you show in the middle of the park, you handle that football and you beat them. And I'll tell you what, I don't give two fucks whether we win, lose or draw. But what I want for 45 minutes is us getting hold of it, all over the fucking pitch. That's the best result of the season. Don't worry about that. That's a great result. Hey, bear in mind we're like back in ours as well, that one. Yeah, it's smashing, well done. Good day. Difficult game. It's a game I didn't think we'd win. When you look at the injuries there.
So, plenty of good stories to talk about.
If you look at that.
Joined back here by Alan Brazil and Rodney Marshall.
If you look at that.
We're going to take a short break.
It's Colton, Quinn, Scott, Ball, Stewart, Agnew, possibly Ray. I mean, and I know Arsenal were missing Wright. But it's a great result. You give a kid his debut, and your two frontmen, Mullen 22 and Bridges 18, who comes off with an injury. So that's a bonus. I know they got a man sent off, but it's still a great result for us.
Oh, it's made my week. Honestly, it's made my week. It's brilliant.
If you support the team, you support them with passion. It's hard to describe, you know, there hasn't your next stand up, you know, you feel physically better and, you know, you might be full of cold. And then the score and you're like, whoosh, you know, you feel better, all, you know. If you could bottle that, you'd make good money, you know.
It all seemed too good to be true. Sunderland had beaten one of the top teams in the country, and every day the city's newest landmark looked more and more spectacular. This season was all about pride, and surely Bob Murray Stadium would be the envy of every team in the Premier League.
And of course, with Sunderland supporters in full voice, guarantees a tremendous atmosphere.
The club was quick to take advantage of the mood by encouraging supporters to book their season tickets for the new stadium before it was too late.
I mean, they're obviously coming in below us and we'll be looking down on them. But there'll be nobody impairing the view on the pitch.
That's right.
Especially when you're paying nearly £2,000. Yes. Well, can we hold those four?
Okay, so you want to take those four then? That one, that one, that one, that one. Yeah.
Yeah. We met in here when it was the Black Cat Club in 1966. I met my husband in this actual room. It used to be a club then with a stage and a drummer and a big bar along the bottom here. And we all used to sit in the corner. We all used to travel on John Tennick's number 1 bus. And that we all met up as a crowd, and then we all used to gather in that bottom corner just and then the crowd got bigger and bigger, and then he wandered in one night, and I was selling the pens. I worked for the Supporters Association, and we used to do the bingo and everything then, and I was selling the pens. I sold one to him. 25 years later, here we are.
Moral of the story is don't sell anyone a pen.
Don't sell anyone a pen in the Black Cat Club.
Obviously, you're going to carry out this week, so that's right.
The club also offered the fans a unique opportunity. For £25, they could have a brick bearing their name placed in the walls of the new stadium.
And throw back as well, eh? Good lad.
No, this is the next generation, you see.
Right, how many we want?
I want 2.
You want 2? I want 1. I get 3. Look, are you getting how many?
I'm getting 4 bricks.
He's getting 4. That's 7. How many are you getting out? 2. 9. How about Sean?
How many are you getting, Sean?
10. 10.
Fell off a line.
As an added incentive, you could have your photograph taken with the previous season's championship trophy. It's at times like these you realise Premier League football can be a licence to print money.
One time, I mean, the commercial side of a football club was very, very small, and I think it's over the last 7 years that it's really started to snowball. I would honestly say that 50% of the club's income comes from the commercial side.
Being in the Premier League is all about money. A club that plays against the best teams in the land attracts local businessmen who want to impress clients and friends with a glass of champagne and an exclusive seat in an executive box.
Oh, good morning. Is it possible to speak to Andy Graham, please?
Yes, Andy Graham.
Oh, good morning, Andy. My name's Jill. I'm calling on behalf of Sunderland Football Club.
Hi, Jill.
Hi. The reason I'm calling is, no doubt you'll be aware we're building a new stadium.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you do any sort of corporate hospitality at all?
Yes.
Client entertainment?
In the past.
Would you be interested? One of our marketing executives is actually popping out around the area. Would you be interested if she actually came out to see you?
Yeah.
We've got 54 boxes. None of the suites have got any names yet.
Right.
It's Suite A. This will hold, it's got 450 people on there, but for comfort reasons we've kept that to 400.
Right.
Included in there will be match sponsors, ball sponsors, associate sponsors, and they're £2,000 a package, but that is our top of the range.
Right.
There's a champagne reception, things like that.
Yeah.
If you wanted a room that you wanted to just entertain 30 guests every week or 30 staff, and you could actually decorate the room as you wanted.
I think from that point of view, a box would give us more flexibility. Yeah,
totally agree.
Yeah.
I'll just let you have a look at the people that have actually taken boxes with us at the moment. There's a 5,000 non-returnable deposit that we ask for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. That looks very good, doesn't it, in that regard?
You know, the basic Joe public who stands on the terraces, he's not bringing a lot into the ground. He might buy a pie in the ground and a programme, and that's it. They're not really bothered about him now, are they? They're going towards corporate facilities and stuff where you obviously need the money in the club, but one day that'll not be there.
Them 3 points could probably turn out to be the best 3 points we've won this season. Arsenal, one of the top teams in the league, they tried the physical business with it. It didn't work. We got stuck into them, and the squad's down to the bone now. And look at the team we had out on Saturday. We'll come away with 3. I mean, the boss is up there playing a bit head tennis and whatever. It's wait and see time with Peter who he's going to bring in, but it's he's crying for a midfield player and a striker right now. He's supposed to be interested in Lee Clark from Newcastle. I'm happy if he comes here. I'll be happy if Gaza comes here. I'm not particularly bothered what Newcastle fans are going to say about it. At least we know the club's looking for class players now. There's never a dull moment at Sunderland, is there? Never a dull moment.
It's no secret. We have made inquiries about Paul Gascoigne, and I'm sure that there are other clubs that have done the same. We've said all along we want to bring quality players into the club to take the club forward, and we're very mindful that we want to retain Premiership status this season, but we also want to take advantage when we move to the new stadium to be able to hopefully move up the Premiership table and start to challenge for a bit of silverware.
If you stand still in football, you don't stand still. You fall behind. You've always got to keep up with the game and improve your squad. I mean, the players, I've got a smashing bunch of players, great atmosphere, but everybody knows in football you've always got to improve, and that's what I've tried to do from day one. But I have, at this moment in time, the financial clout to do it. But I won't be panicked. I'll do it in my own time. On the players, I think will improve the squad.
The next day, the prayers of the fans were answered. Peter had found his new striker, Ronan Haradzi, an Israeli international. Assistant manager Paul Bracewell broke the news to the eager press.
He's a forward.
Forward. Yeah. Striker. Through the middle striker.
Yeah.
How old is he, John?
He's 25. I think his flight this morning was something like 10. Well, I think he's on a 10 to 10 flight this morning to get down there. So.
Can you clear one thing up, Paul? Because you know the business with the Department of Employment and the work permit, etc. I haven't got the Department of Employment, you know, the PFA involvement. They haven't said yes yet.
No, because I mean, he obviously had to do a medical, so that's the reason why he's come over to do the medical. I mean, any transfer is subject to a medical, obviously, and a work permit as well. I mean, so if you were signing a lad in England, you'd have to pass a medical anyway.
Yeah.
The latest position on that is you're still waiting for the work permit.
Yeah, we're still waiting for that, and we'll have a good idea this afternoon from the results from his scan and see how he goes.
Will you be able to play him in the resis?
Once again, it's another.
It's like the rest of the boys.
Yeah, you've got to see if you can get permission, but I know the lad's keen to play.
Yes.
With prices sky high at home, Peter had looked abroad for cheaper players. The high-scoring Haradzi seemed a bargain at around £500,000. But first, the Israeli had to undergo a routine medical check.
The MRI scan is basically done as a pre-signing screening, really, of the major lower limb joints, ankles, knees, hips, usually. And we're basically looking for any internal abnormalities of the joints that may affect players' physical fitness, ability to play, that type of thing. I suppose you could view it as a kind of 12,000-mile service.
The news was not good.
So this previous stress fracture, which you can see just here, basically his fifth. This is his first metatarsal. It should look pretty much like this. This one's got a lot of bright areas within it, just a lot of marrow edema. And he's still got a visible fracture line, so it's not completely healed yet. If you look at the X-ray, there's certainly callus formation around there. I don't know how old this fracture is, but it's not fully healed at the moment. That's probably just an effect that he's been carrying on playing at it. So that's a potential problem. Now you see the problems here. All this distortion is due to that metal pin in his knee.
He's arrived. We're under the impression he had a small pin in his femur. And when we've looked at the X-rays, it isn't a small pin, it's about 18 inches long. It's a huge nail in his femur. So quote unquote, that's got a huge nail. We're a little bit concerned. He's also come with a repaired cartilage in his left knee. And rumour has it it's Robocop in disguise. And an old stress fracture in his foot. So he's, and other than that, he's as fit as a fiddle. No, he's fine. The manager tends to choose these players.
We've been advised to pull out on medical grounds, which is disappointing for the player, obviously, because he's a young man, 26-year-old, and obviously disappointing for the club and me, because I thought he could have done a job for us.
So what does that mean you've got to do now?
That's a good question.
We've tried a number of avenues. We've inquired about quite a number of players, we've just got to keep trying. I think the whole of football at the moment, there's not a great deal of movement. Everyone is after quality players, and there's not a lot out there.
Right, shall we move on? Slight progress.
This was an unhappy week for the club. Strong winds had delayed building at the new stadium.
We're saying whereabouts are we as per the original contract programme?
We're probably about a week and a couple of days, mostly due to some weather that we've had recently. We have taken provision behind. We have taken some provision of an additional crane that arrived on the Saturday to speed up work on the west stand, which was always the intention anyway. so that should help. So what steps are you taking to get back on programme then? That's exactly it. That's part of it, yeah. We always expected some poor weather at this time of the year, but this is the effect of it. Yeah. How far? You come down and build one down there.
What bad weather did you build into your contingency?
There's some float into that, yeah.
We're not as bad as what this looks.
It's a 59-week programme,
I know,
and within there they've built in a contingency.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. But at the end of the day, you're talking about 100 quid.
Say it, Fred.
No.
Say it, John.
They've lost 8 days on
which they can make up.
on steel work, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean to say in those 8 days they weren't doing anything, right? They were concentrating on other areas.
I know all that. I know the answers, and I know the official answers.
Those guys don't see there being a problem, and I think it's back.
It's the guy up there that causes the problem, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I'm it's risk assessment, Fred. But we're all right.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
We're all right. We're all right. Don't worry. Don't worry. There's too many what ifs. Do it.
Good afternoon, Sunderland Football Club. Susan speaking. I shall try the line for you. Who's calling? Thank you.
It was hard to believe that this would be the last season played at Roker Park. It seemed almost cruel to pull it down just a year short of its centenary. But it was time to move on, although the people who'd stood here would never be forgotten.
We've got to take turf from here. Well, we haven't got to, we are, for the sake of the people that's got the ashes spread on the ground. So we're taking turf up to put them in the new stadium, which is great, like. It's a regular thing, you know, ashes getting spread around the pitch. But I think there's going to be a new system at the new stadium, you know, they're going to have a special place to put the ashes there. We eat, sleep and drink Sunderland, you know, it's our beloved club, you know, and that's it, like. I mean, if they were in the 4th division, I would think no different of them. It's just something that's, you know, from when you were born, I suppose, really, you know. From taking things in, it was Sunderland football, and that's the way you were brought up. Even when we played sometimes on the Saturday, we used to dart in the last 5 or 10 minutes if we were playing along Seaburn on the pitches that was there then. We used to dash back in and get in, and if we saw the last few minutes, we you know. But I mean, I've got visions when you were looking around the ground, you could see people getting passed over the heads. It was just one mass of people, you know. And people, if they were fainting or anything, just used to pass them over the heads, come down. And ambulance people were waiting on the track of them coming down. You know, and that was life. You know, there was nothing else. And it was tremendous. I'd love to see them days back where the place is crammed solid, you know. And then you get the atmosphere and it's brilliant, you know.
Away to Aston Villa. Even this far into the season, the supporters were still excited by the glamour of the Premier League. They'd been to Highbury, Old Trafford, and now Villa Park. Gone forever were the days of Southend's Roots Hall or Grimsby's Blundell Park. Or so they hoped.
How many matches do you go to, away games?
I go to more or less every single one. And I think 90% of the people on the bus today will be more or less the same as me at every single game. People's addicted to alcohol, people's addicted to drugs. And to me, there should be something like for a football fan because it's the same phenomenon. It's a drug. I've been at work one day a number of years ago, and somebody says, "Oh, Sunderland's got a game tomorrow night." I went, "No, they haven't." And for some reason, I'd missed it. They were playing a friendly. Next day, I had a day off. I'm away to the match. And to me, I didn't have to think twice about it. It's like people that have a drink, they cannot refuse it. I cannot refuse going to a football game. I've got to go, you know. It's just something I've got to do.
What happened to you?
A Newcastle United fan buried off with an argument over football, unfortunately. But that's life, I suppose.
Who left that Newcastle supporter standing there?
The team arrived at Aston Villa confident after a 3-match unbeaten run. The win over Arsenal had been followed by a 1-1 draw at Leicester and a 0-0 draw to Blackburn. But without a new striker, Peter Reid was struggling to find fresh ways to shuffle his pack.
Mel's out as we went yesterday, but Mull's coming in for Craig, on the bench, Precy, Eki, Darren Holloway, Smitty and Craig. What time do you want to book?
There's not a lot we can do now. Still got an hour and 20 minutes. And just tend to keep out of the way, or, you know, if the lads need anything, we go and ask them if we can help them anyway. And then in the end, you just feel like you're getting in the way, so you just disappear, go and get a cup of tea somewhere, have a read, and go back in for the game just to wish them all the best.
See, there was enough room on that bench.
Yeah, and we're just arguing about the bench, who's going to sit where on it. We'll have fights like buggery on the bench today as well.
It's one of them stand-up benches.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at it.
Come on, we'll have a look at the bench.
Every attack you can't get a goal. So if you're not sure, keep it. Just keep the football and let's work him. And if we do that, we'll win it. 5-a-side today. Come on, let's go!
Fucking problems there. Fucking big problems with them two fuckers coming off and fucking turning and running at us. What did I say before the game? There's 3 of you marking 2 and they come off, you go right fucking up the arse and you don't let them turn. He's coming... Milosevic is good, coming off strong, but when they come off and turn and run at us, that's fucking minging, that. Because the 3 of you might as well come and fucking sit with me. Because they're just fucking coming off and... That's the reason we 1-0 down, is simply because we haven't fucking handled them. He had a 10 or 15 or 20 minute spell there where it was fucking delightful. Delightful, fucking good combination playing, sliding balls into space for runners. It was good, excellent. You had them on the fucking ropes.
Don't switch off for runners. Stay with runners.
Alive on throw-ins. Set plays, come on.
Don't let him get out from throw-ins. Don't let him get out from throw-ins because the switch is on.
Come on!
Come on, Mick. Get out of there, everybody on the ball, eh?
Oh, come on, get over it.
Come on, let's get over there.
Fucking busy.
Come on, boy.
Disappointing when you lose. Well done, Ice. Well done. Play well. Well done. Well done.
Well done, Ned. Well done, Des. Go on, wear your bollocks off. And I thought you deserved to get something out of that. Had 4 days of it, 4 days now. Relax. Better if we won, but there you go. 1 plate. Get a drink. Bob.
One of them days. One of them days. One of them days. One of them days where you didn't get a break. Well done, Jan. Well done, lad. Well done, Jan. Well done, son. Come back, Ned. Well done, days.
Victory over Scotland.
I need to get more strength in the squad. I've got to do it.
By when?
By yesterday. I mean, I'd love one in for Wednesday, but it's going to be difficult, isn't it? You know, you got to keep on trying, though.
Oh!
So what? They lost to Aston Villa. But there was still a long way to go, and they were still in the middle of the table.
Sometimes we leave at 6 o'clock in the morning, don't get home at 11 o'clock at night, and that's like, what, 16 hours, 17 hours, and there's 90 minutes football can make or break that day. That's football, and I'm happy with it over the moon.
Hey, Newcastle, clap your hands. Hey, Newcastle, clap your hands. Hey, Newcastle, hey, Newcastle, hey, Newcastle, clap your hands. We'll never be bastard, fight black and white bastard. Sunderland's the best of them all.
But as the fans left Villa Park in high spirits, no one could have dreamt what lay ahead.
Tottenham have won 4-0, but they were playing against possibly the feeblest strike force in the Premier League.
There's some clubs who have spent a lot of money and mightn't have got the players in. So I won't spend the money unless I get the right players. Simple as that.
I mean, we've always said that Peter will only sign players that he feels that will strengthen the squad. And as a board, we back him in that philosophy and we'll support him.
I won't bend for anybody, and that's just the way I am. And people take me or leave me on, but that's, you know, and I won't.
More footballing passions from Sunderland next week on BBC One at 10:55.